Hey guys, so today I tried Mew out. I was playing a duo game with my buddy Avro, and as we know, solo duo, it's really messed up at the moment. It's a new season, it's a new map, it's crazy. There's a lot of nonsense going on, so it's not the cleanest game ever, but I think it showcases the power of Light Screen and Solar Beam pretty well. So going into the lane here, I'm starting off with Solar Beam. Electro Ball is better secure in the early game, but Solar Beam's range and just ability to poke and steal just feels really, really strong, and it's my favorite option to start with. And honestly, I don't really switch off of the moves unless I need Surf for some peel, which I could have probably used a lot better in this game. And I'm sure coaching and agility for mobility with teammates is probably a lot better. I'm still learning the character, but honestly, Light Screen and Solar Beam to me just feel so incredibly strong that I don't see a reason to switch off them most of the time. I mean, here as we can see, right, they're pushing on me, but I can just poke. Like, you work to get to level 7 on Venusaur to be able to do this, and you can just do it on Mew, which is kind of crazy. So over here it's 850. I should be looking at the Altaria and the Swablu's in the middle lane. I am trolling a little. I'm looking up for the Baltoy, but I think it works out pretty decently. When I can remember, we get a big beam on the Sylveon. Look at that damage immediately early in the game. It's crazy, right? It's nuts. So they're gonna chase me to goal here, but I have beam. That's not even through Light Screen. Light Screen makes it do more damage, right? So, and the boosted, they can't fight me. And I genuinely think that if you're laning with Mew, you only need Solar Beam and Light Screen. You don't really need any other options. You just do what you want with this Pokemon, and it's pretty crazy because it's pretty tanky as well. I am running a Focus Band to take advantage of that, and I do like Wise Glasses and Choice Specs. Let me know what your builds for you have been, because obviously it's a new character, we're still exploring it, don't really know everything it can do, but it's just so much free poke in the early game. They're not able to deal with me. They can't push on me. They want to, right? Sylveon with Hyper Voice is so oppressive, but I can just sit back and just poke it, and it can't bully me like it normally would, which is really cool. Really cool. I missed that beam there, because, you know, I'm amazing at the game. But yeah, it's really cool. It's really cool, and I'm able to just hold them off. Look at that. They walk towards me to do the Hyper Voice thing, and I just beam them. There's the very balanced, enhanced basic attack of Mew. And the damage, man, it's crazy. A lot of this video is going to be me talking about how the damage is insane. Mew is just, it feels so strong. And this whole time I'm like, I could switch to Electro Ball or Surf, but why? You know, like, I just don't feel a reason. And I think that's going to come into, obviously, a master of this character is going to switch between the moves at perfect times and just completely diff everybody, and it's going to be nuts. But I feel like spamming Light Screen and Solar Beam is just a very strong Pokemon on its own, and it can't really deal with me. I just keep poking them over and over and over again, and it's just nuts. I think it's really silly. Look at that, just beaming all over the place. The top lane has fallen. The Regieleki's, like, you know, been taken by the enemy team. I've oddly found, and I know a lot of people are saying Regieleki is the better of the two. I've oddly found that in my solo and duo games, when I go for the bottom, just like the Dreadnought, when I go for the bottom Regis, it seems to give my team a better advantage. Like, the buffs and the team-wide XP, even though it's smaller than a Dread, definitely still seem worth it to me. I know a lot of teams are opting for the Regi, and I do think Regi is very, very strong. And when I say Regi, I mean Aleki. I know they're all called Regis. I do think, oh my god, the beams. Like, what is this? This is so silly. Yeah, so I think the Regieleki is very, very strong still, but I think the buffs from the bottom Regis can really help you snowball and push. An example being, if you haven't broken the top goal and you get Regieleki, then yeah, cool. You'll probably break the top goal. But if all the goals are up and you get the bottom Regis, say it's a defense buff or a health recovery buff, or it's a damage buff, that's going to help you and your team, like, really push through the other goal. It's just, I think both options are just really good, which is great about this map and this season. It's awesome that it's not just everyone go bottom and it's a one-way thing. You can literally split. Also, I love this part of the match. They were just rushing me constantly here, and I was able to just dance and beam because Mew's passive lets it move faster, right? So imagine being Venusaur, but you just have movement speed every time you use Solar Beam, and you can just keep kiting and beaming. And look, sure, here I could probably swap, right? I could probably go into Surf and push them back. I could probably go into Agility and dodge, but why? And that's my biggest thing with Mew. It's why would I swap moves if I can just do this, right? Like, obviously I could put light screens up here and I could play this more optimally. This is like my second or third game on the character, so there's a lot I don't know. But I just feel like the beams are great. Like, here example, if I switch to Surf or Coaching here, I probably save myself and play a lot better. So that's a situation where you'd want to swap. But I honestly think that most of the game, you want to stay in Light Screen Solar Beam because it does an absurd amount of damage. And I think that if they tweak the damage of this a little bit, then switching will become a lot more prominent. You'll want to go Electro Ball for burst. You want this for poke, and then you'll want Surf for CC. Like, you'll really want to swap, and maybe now you do. Maybe I'm wrong, but as I said, to me, it feels like you want to stay here. I'm pretty sure I just int into these two, because have you guys ever had those games where you're just doing whatever you want and you're bullying everyone? So you think you can just walk up to anybody and take them out? That was how I was. I was really feeling myself there. And you know what? It didn't work out. It definitely didn't work out. But it's so fun. And I think I just like get taken out here as well. This is, as I said, it's like solo duo queue, right? So no one's gonna help us. No one's gonna help us here with the base Regieleki getting hard pushed in. And this is where Regieleki is so strong, right? If that goes in, that's really problematic for us. Our team was doing the bottom Regi, I believe, but still didn't end up getting it because, you know, solo duo queue, new season, new map, no one really knows what they're doing. It's kind of all over the place. I'm pretty sure here I decide I'm just gonna farm and hopefully just pop off in the endgame fight, because I don't see a reason to do anything else. And that's one thing with the new map as well. I don't know how you guys really feel about that. With me, it seems like I feel like if I'm not farming, I'm doing something wrong, because there's so much experience on the map that fighting almost feels like a mistake, which is quite interesting. I completely missed the camp there because I'm already set that I'm going to back, so I just throw it out and brain lapse moment. But yeah, they're pushing the base, and I'm just trying to make sure they can't get too many points, because we don't have a Zapdos anymore. Rayquaza is good, but it's not going to get you an instant 500. So you've got to hold them off on these pushes, and these pushes are a pretty good play now in the late game. I do think they overdid it. They're really pushing here, and because I'm Mew, I'm able to sit back and just beam them constantly. I use the Unite here because I think uniting before 2 minutes is actually more viable in the current meta, because you don't need to win this Zap war. You can win without getting Rayquaza. You really can, and that's what's good about this new map and this new meta. So I'm just here poking, and Solar Beam is so strong. I'm sure if I went Surf there, I could have pushed them off of the goal, but then I leave myself vulnerable because I am an attacker, right? So I still like Solar Beam. Like there, I get both of them with that Solar Beam, right? I think Mime does fall to Cinderace, but I get the Venusaur in the far bush, and we're able to just like just beaming, just constantly beaming. The cooldown is absurd on it. Like I think maybe that's what should change, because it gets lowered by the targets you hit. And here we can see that Sylveon's in the bottom on the minimap, so we just rip this. There's no reason not to, right? And oh, it's just so strong. I think this is the first time all game you'll see me switch moves. I think I'm like, you know what? Surf could be useful for scoring. So I'm going to help my buddy Avro score. So I run up with Avro, and I switch now to Surf. And I still keep Light Screen because the knockback on Light Screen is crazy strong. Crazy good, and I don't know why Surf one-shots, but it does. And there must have been a level gap. I didn't really pay attention to levels there. And for some reason, they just like they accept that I'm going to score, which I probably am no matter what they do. And yeah, I get the score off, and I think here I just troll like, oh my god, the damage, right? The damage on that Venusaur, the enhanced auto just fade away, and yeah, I'm pretty sure I just troll here and I dance around with the Edge Slash forever, and I end up inting or whatever. But at this point, there's not really much they can do, because if I hold them here, they can't go score. But yeah, guys, this is Mew. This was like my second or third game playing the Pokemon. I think it's really good. I've played it a few more times since, and I think I've won almost all of my games, and it's just been through Solar Beam and Light Screen and just spamming poke. I really haven't swapped. I've gone to Surf here and there every now and then. I haven't used Electro Ball. I think maybe like once or twice I used it, and I just didn't feel the need. Maybe I'm wrong there though, but I think coaching is really good in like teams. I think agility is good for dodging, but I love the knockback of light screen, especially in those chokes near Rayquaza. Really, really strong and really, really solid. But yeah, that game was a mess, right? Solo duo queue, but I'm sure it showcased the power of Mew a little bit. The poke of Solar Beam is incredible. I'm genuinely kind of falling in love with Mew. And I'm not much of like an attacker lover, right? I love Solar Beam Venusaur, maybe that's why I love Mew. I love Decidueye. I think I just like sniping. I think I go over to the damage here so you guys can see that it was not a bait in the thumbnail. It was a nice 123k damage on Mew. Pretty solid game, if I do say so myself. But yeah, guys, as always, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and have a wonderful day.